It's the Fourth Estate on NTV. My name is Alan Kasujangelo Izama is sitting over there. This is Chris Obore, and you now know the minister in charge of the presidency, Mr. Frank Tumwebaze. He's also a member of parliament, amongst other things. What Chris has given us one side of the story about the dynamics involved in the appointment of, having worked in State House.
Yes.
What does the president think about? What goes through the mind of that man when he's making up his ministry, when he's choosing his ministers? And is this a thing that is exclusive to him, or does he invite other opinions?
Those who think of the politics of reward and revenge, President Museveni is far from that. You get the point. Because he's been exposed to so many struggles. He's networked with the law, with the medium, with the mighty. You get the point. He knows the language that the grassroots people speak. He knows the language that you speak. You get it? So when he's trying to balance his appointments, you may critique them on many other, even genuine grounds, to give a benefit of doubt to Obore. But for him, he knows he owes that place some responsibility. Kabwe Jere you talk about comes from some ideological group, which they were together. Okay? He believes he should speak his mind. He believes in, he wants to bring the academic kind of feeling to the politics, the think tank kind of. Kabwe Jere can be grouped together with Suruma, Dr. Suruma. Okay? The Mzee Changomacho is dead.
He's alive.
He's alive. Okay? Yes, one time he was sick, sorry. Alhaj Chivejinja. So the president wouldn't want that group, that those ideologues, call them the Kajabago group, Mzee Kajabago. So he would want to pick, to retain for institutional memory.
Are they really? That's emotional. That's more.
It's not emotional.
Are they relevant right now?
They have values they champion.
Like what?
And like the struggle, the Fronasa struggle, the ideology of inclusiveness, which actually the president himself believes in. So they are actually they are buddies in that ideological, Christianizing the ideology.
So why then do they?
So picking
are
one
they
or
better
two,
off serving as presidential advisors
picking one or two
than ministers?
Picking one or two to come and blend with the Franks and the Todongos gives him a perfect mix.
Mr. President Minister.
Gives him a perfect mix.
You kind of irritate some of us when you try to gloss over these things.
Be
I know you are supposed to paint a collective responsibility. If you say Kabwe Jere stands for some good values, do you remember when there was famine in Teso? What Kabwe Jere said?
He was indifferent to the plight.
You know when there was a problem of competition in Kampala here? That the president compensated everybody who has lost a shirt and a knicker? I mean, you have a minister who does a professor.
That is the candid talk.
Listen, if a professor
that you need.
You have a professor. Listen, you have a professor who does not respect the feelings of the people. What kind of a professor is this? What do you mean? A man goes and laughs at the TESO because they are having a famine, because he's a minister. Why don't you appoint him a director of research in NRM? Politics is different from what you're talking. There is nothing Kabwe Jere adds there, other than perhaps Museveni pleasing Bushenyi because he has sent in Nduhura, who voted twice for himself.
The fact
listen, even Nduhura was a criminal. He voted twice for himself.
Okay.
And he has been sent to the UN.
You see, for you to specialize on punching holes in people's integrity, which is not right.
But he makes a valid point.
The fact that you say, though I don't agree with you, that by appointing Kabwe Jere he pleases Bushenyi. If you genuinely believe that statement, if there is a population in Bushenyi...
But he has chosen a wrong candidate.
Listen to me. If the population in Bushenyi is pleased by the appointment of Mzee Kabwe Jere, they know it's valuable.
I'm not even sure.
It's valuable.
But he has not answered
I need to bring in Angelo here. No, he will answer you shortly.
This man insulted the TESO and Kampala here.
Yeah, but Angelo,
Kabwe Jere.
Let's talk about...
We have established.
Let's talk about relevance and connection.
Exactly. Maybe that.
Yeah.
When you talk about, is this cabinet in its current... the way it's currently constituted, do you sense that it's actually relevant to our realities?
That's why I was saying, how the president decorates his government. He's of absolutely no interest to me.
To be precise, Alan, I think what is missing here?
If it pleases him to see Kabwe Jere's face, that's really his thing.
Angelo,
I don't really care.
Let me tell this. If I were in Frank's shoes, knowing what the president has returned, Frank and Todong, I would have sacrificed my city to Bitamazire and to Bechinja, and then you see a full sleeping cabinet in place.
Yeah, but
I think now Frank is supposed to carry there.
Let's give the floor to Angelo. Angelo is making a point.
No, the point I was, because the whole situation, by the way, is quite laughable. It's one thing to talk about the president's thinking on how to arrange his government. It's another totally different thing to ask the question how effective it is. See, public policy has to be front and center of any cabinet, because Frank here, Honorable Frank Tumwebaze, now Honorable Minister Tumwebaze, is going to be in charge of connecting the government to the president's manifesto, who happens to be, he's a leader of government, but he's also a leader of a political party. Now, I think that the way the government is structured right now is incoherent and inconsistent with what the president wants to achieve. The bureaucracy is not serving the party. It's a mass of problems. The civil service is demoralized, badly paid, and obviously corrupt.
And it's full of thieves?
Yes, and many other things. If you look at the history of major public policy statements the president makes, in fact, the president has become the presidency has grown so huge, and I hadn't thought about it until now, but if you think about presidential pledges and all the amounts of money that he hands over to different individuals, it is to compensate for what his government is not doing. You see, if there was a public service like a good road, a good education system, healthcare, the president wouldn't have to go and subsidize, those who have come near him. If Oboro goes and says, look, I want a border, or I need a house here, he wouldn't have to do that because the institutions would respond.
That's very interesting, because I was at State House when Kiprotich's breakfast, and one of the things the president did, he was saying that, I'm sorry because Kipsiro was not given the things that he was given.
Asked for
and he asked for the things to be done today.
Yes.
But you are digging it too far. Frank here has been appointed to whip the radio stations. Just 2 weeks ago, he was complaining. Frank here, I hope you don't close the Fourth Estate. His work is to monitor the media, and the president is very jittery of the media. The only request I want to make on behalf of Ugandans, Frank, I know you also
I don't know if he can listen to you.
You also own a radio station. Please pay our transmitters. Because it seems guys who work with the president, they like carrying transmitters. I hope it'll be different. I hope it'll be different.
I must tell the viewers, this fellow calls me to congratulate me. You know what he says? Now, what will you steal? All the masks have been stolen. Will you take the transmitter? He's a terrible sadist. You should never believe him.
But let's also face it though, Frank.
Yes.
There is a massive credibility deficit as far as the presidency is concerned. Not necessarily because of the president's omissions or commissions, but also just because of the structures that are meant to support him.
It's not about credibility. It's about, maybe like Angelo brings it, some laxity in
resulting into credibility issues.
Not really, because credibility is on the leadership. We are not lacking any credible leader. Laxity. You see, the president, let me tell you, people, the little I know about the president, I can't claim I know him about. He's a very patient person. And this comes back to maybe a point, taking long to whip people or sack them. He's a very patient person. He wants to give you an opportunity to serve, to reform. You get the point? And he takes time to act because he doesn't want. Sometimes there's intrigue, there's infighting. This is common in Uganda. Someone will also report damning and killing you, and it's on the president's table. He wants to put a signature. He's always very, very, very reluctant. And you may critique him for that. Someone may say, why are you not signing off death sentences for people in Ruzira? But that's him. That's him. You would maybe want a benevolent dictator whose word is real, whose instructions are not queried. You delay action, you are fired. That one has got its advantages and perhaps disadvantages.
But that was the Museveni before 1996, before elective politics.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because President Museveni came in as a military leader. He humbled himself and handed power to the citizenry to have him elected.
Frank is beginning to sound like his job.
Let me finish my point. So, the laxity, I agree. As a member of parliament, I've been chairing one of the committees, and I think I still chair until I am sworn in. Unless if members vote me out in the remaining 2 days. We've seen the laxity. People not really paying attention to detail. People not respecting their job. You have a parish chief in a parish somewhere.
But this is a leadership problem,
Yes.
is it not?
It's more of a bureaucracy.
It has
than
been
administration.
tolerated.
It's not leadership. It's just management at administrative levels.
You see, President
So,
Museveni,
what
we
the
agree
president-
is tolerant.
what the
We agree
president
that he's
is
tolerant.
asking us.
Do you think that
Yes.
sometimes he ends up tolerating the wrong things? In the fact he's tolerant, we accept that.
Yes.
But do you think that sometimes in the process of being tolerant,
Yes.
he ends up
Of course,
tolerating
yes.
the wrong
Of
things?
course, yes. People will exploit that. Because I have appointed UPS of a ministry. There is a head of public service. Do you
Oh,
really-
the
you
head
really-
of public service is another.
Exactly.
Isn't it like a
You
juror?
expect a head of state, you expect a head of state to call a PS's forum and ask for appraisal forms on what they have achieved? Perhaps that would be my work in
Right.
conjunction with the head of public service. Because the head of public service also sits right in the presidency.
He's actually, he has children older than you. I'm
So
sure.
really, to me, before we take on the president, you need actually the kind of President Museveni who allows people to manage their own affairs.
Fair enough, fair
Yeah.
enough. Now let's come to
Alan, just
an
before
issue.
you
I
come
need
to
to,
that.
I need to change subjects
Chinua
quickly.
Achebe wrote
Chinua
that,
Achebe, yes.
that
it he
Frank
as old as
finally
Kajura?
has washed his hands and has been called to sit with the elders. Frank has really done his part. He has done his lobbying.
What
for
message
this.
do you
Now,
message do you have for the elders?
I'm saying
Through me.
the elders, actually,
Yes.
we are debating like there's a functioning government. Frank has simply been called to the group of eaters. Finally, he has watched his hand come and eat with us. But the point here is,
When you become diplomatic.
what do we want? What do we want? What do we want here is, Frank, there are some young men whom you may be inspiring. Don't please become a Jamwa, financial wizard. You know what a wizard he did to NSSF?
No, but let's be fair to Jamwa. He's not here to defend
He
himself.
went to Luzira.
Yeah, he went,
These are
but
facts.
his-
These are facts.
his matter is
So
still before court.
everybody was
Subject
saying,
to appeal.
young blood, he knows everything about money.
He's brilliant. He's
what
brilliant.
What happened with the brilliance?
Maybe I'm a bit conflicted because he's
What
my
happened?
friend.
Yeah,
But-
something went wrong. So I'm warning Frank.
Yeah.
Much as you have been called to this sleeping cabinet to join the old, perhaps to hold a fly whisk, to chase flies, mosquitoes, old men sleep. Please don't join them in their
But
sleep.
also, where I take
It will
the
be funny
caution-
if we
where I-
coach-
where I take the caution. But I think also I need to appeal to the Ugandan population. The people you come from as a leader, you are not in any way different from the population you come from.
Yeah,
so
but
really,
you
that
see-
support, if I get support from Obore for doing the right
Honestly,
thing,
let
me give you an example.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example of what Musisi has done in the city.
Yeah, she's done very well.
Very well. But look at the
That's
voices.
ridiculous.
Look, come on.
Well, she's
That's
done well.
ridiculous.
But look at the
Frank,
voices.
please.
She's done very well.
No.
In the last year.
She's done
No,
very well.
I mean,
Now,
look.
look at
What-
the
what are you
voices.
saying? Why are you
Listen,
dissenting?
Let me finish my point.
Look, I am
Look
a-
at the
I am a
voices.
fan.
Look at the voices
Yeah.
that are saying kudos.
Yeah.
They are condemning her.
Okay, so why are you dissenting?
Anyway,
Give
it's-
us the energy.
Let's
like saying that
Why is-
Uganda has performed spectacularly because
No.
Kiprotich
Why are
has
you
won.
dissenting? Why are you dissenting?
Because we come from a very low bar. Look, our first gold medal
So
was
where
after
should our
40
thresholds
years.
be? These are realities.
No, but then don't accept those realities.
Say-
The point of aspiring is such that you accept those realities.
What's your issue with
The
Musisi?
thing, I have nothing.
No,
To
no,
say.
no,
In
he's
fact,
saying,
let
don't
me
settle for less.
let me tell you, for instance,
Yeah.
last week I called the head of National Environmental Management Authority to encourage him to release the air quality readings of Kampala City. Because I heard from his office that Kampala's air pollution is so bad that NEMA won't release those facts to the public. Now, sure enough, today I was jogging in the hills of Kololo because I can now jog in the lowlands.
So you sleep around there?
No, I came to jog where it was fresher,
Okay.
and I found like in Nali or other places, there are these people who sweep the roads now. And people say yes, in the roads around where I live in Chambogo there, are being made, and there's some activity that has come as a result of Jennifer Musisi's ascendancy to that
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
The reality, though, is that Kampala required so much work
Yeah.
that to judge this lady fairly, you
need to give her time.
You have to give her time.
Absolutely.
And if you look at the city, well, the politics has changed somewhat. There's a bit of oomph there, but there's so much more that it requires to be done.
Okay, I'm gonna change the subject shortly.
Wait after-
I need to change. I
campaigns.
need to take a break, but very briefly, guys. Why do we have Kabwejere and not Bajire? What's Bajire in parliament? In
Why
cabinet?
Bagaine and not Bahati?
Yeah, why?
Does it really matter?
Bahati is a
It
very,
doesn't matter to you?
Bahati is a
matter
very
at all.
unfortunate politician in NRM.
Yeah.
He's been trying to be honest, but I don't know whether it's this gay crusade making him not become a minister.
Right.
Alan,
But somehow Bagaine is also in the other theory I told you. He's a wealthy man, and you know there is now a power shift. The prime minister comes from Kigezi. There must be another power center that will be created there. So Bahati has to wait.
I don't think the size of this
I don't know-
cabinet
I don't know who this-
Try and
Who-
answer your question.
Yeah.
Unlike the resolutions we do in Parliament after extensive debates, Cabinet is appointed by one person.
Okay.
He
doesn't
consults whoever he pleases.
Okay.
You get the point. So really, to try to imagine that his decisions should answer the expectations of everyone, including Obore, sometimes is to demand too much. The time for David will be there, and really he has all my prayers. The time for Bagheera will be there, just like the time for any other competent.
But why
person.
recycle Kabejere like a Kavera?
Fair enough.
Why recycle him all the time?
Why,
He had this
why
time.
don't you invite the president to convince you?
Why
that he has
recycle a man who
to-
cannot even control his mouth and is a
Why do we need the
professor?
president if we have Frank?
Actually, you should call Kabwejere here.
Do you know that?
He will handle
Do you know
it
the
very
issue of
well.
Lekimburo land?
Yes.
What?
Lekimburo land. Do you know how Kabwejere was linked to it?
Call
How
him
clean
here.
is he?
Call him
So you
here.
are defending him. I'm giving you data now.
Okay, at least the good thing,
A
the
man
good
who's
news
careless
is,
when people are suffering, you call him a minister.
the good
I
news
can
is
say it on TV.
Frank is going to remain part of the fourth estate. He's pledged that, and that's
He will
good.
be,
So
he will be told to close it.
we shall have.
I can't.
He doesn't want to
I
get
would
out of
rather
this
close Obori's mouth
Yeah.
than close the
Okay,
door.
but-
Can't close
moving
mine.
forward, though.
I'll get a trumpet on the street.
Hold on. The helicopters. Let's talk about that briefly. We don't have all the information we need, but I'm sure this panel of guys is competent enough to give us a bit of insight as to what might have happened. 8 lives were lost, UPDF soldiers, and our prayers are with their families. But what exactly happened? Let's talk to the guys after the break.